Oregon at Washington. I think this is the must-see game of the week. I could give you a lot of stats. I mean, we could talk about how great the offenses are. Let's start there. First and second in offensive success rate, and in terms of like total offense, they're both in the top three in scoring offense. You knew all that though. These two teams are going to put up points. So I guess the question for me in this game and trying to sort out who you like defensively and sort of like the margins in this game, because it really feels like both offenses are just going to get theirs. It's in Seattle. Three of the last four have been decided by one score. And we remember last year's game, Washington pulling out a close game. Right now, Oregon is 17th in defensive success rate. Washington is 65th. Pass defense success rate, Oregon is 9th, Washington 67th. I can go down the list. Oregon's just a little bit better on defense. They're better on at third downs. They're better in the red zone right now. So all that to be said, I think kind of the setup for this game is it's the first time that both are in the top 10. We've got high-profile quarterbacks, high-scoring offenses, and two somewhat shaky defenses coming into this game. So last team with the ball wins.
I mean, that's kind of what happened last year until Bo Nix got hurt right at the end of the game. I want to say, and I'm vamping here to make sure I can pull this up. I want to say that it's the and Chris Felico was the guy who posted the tweet on this, but it's the latest in the season since I think 2003 that two undefeated Pac-12 teams are playing, which is wild, by the way.
Yeah.
There have been like dozens and dozens in the SEC, for example. I want to say first and foremost, I think primetime treatment for this game is long overdue, whether that's 7 p.m. or in this case, 3:30 p.m. Like, this is the most underrated rivalry in all of college football. It is the most aesthetically pleasing rivalry in all of college football. The uniforms, the offenses, the quarterbacks, the settings, how the game has been played over the years, the hatred between the two, the green and the purple. Like, it's a sight to behold. It is just college football at its finest. And I don't think it gets the national run and conversation that it deserves relative to the other big rivalries, especially even east of the Mississippi, or including that Red River too, Texas and Oklahoma. It's as good as Ohio State, Michigan. It's as good as Auburn, Alabama. It is a truly epic, great, wonderful, spectacular rivalry. And I think Oregon's going to go on the road and win.
Oh, okay. So I guess are you banking on the Oregon defense to get enough stops? I guess is what you're thinking.
I guess.
Yeah.
I certainly could see that. I think Dan Lanning's tapped into something.
He's out for wins, not clicks.
Not wins, not clicks. They've got, it's the offensive coach versus the defensive coach, and the defensive coach has got the quarterback. This is a small thing here, and it's hard to quantify, and I can't really say more than this. I think the Oregon Ducks are a more cohesive unit with their quarterback in the locker room.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think if you were to go position by position here in this game, like, I think Michael Penix has been better than Bo Nix this year, but you'd probably grade it even just because both are top 10.
Sure.
Both are elite at receiver. I think Oregon's better at running back. I think probably Oregon more upside on defense based upon the way they played so far. I mean, they totally dominated Colorado. Washington, I think when you look at kind of their schedule so far this season, the game against Arizona, Arizona just pushed USC. I think Arizona might just be better than we think, but 24 points. And Boise State was probably the other team. Cal put up over 32. So I think there's more questions about Washington's defense. Also, Washington's offensive line, which has been shuffled due to some injuries this year. I'm curious to see how they hold up here, because Oregon has 18 sacks this season. So the pass rush is going to be there. I think the margins here on defense, especially from a success rate, the third down defense, it's like Oregon is better on that side of the ball, but it is in Seattle. And like I said, it might just come down to who has the ball last, because there's going to be some fireworks in what, like you said, is an underrated rivalry nationally.
Revenge factor for Oregon as well.
For sure.
I think they're Oregon's the more complete team. I think Oregon is the more, what's the right word? Like, aligned. Again, I use the word cohesive. I'm going to use, like, it's not a culture. I don't think Washington's culture is a question. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that there's more, like, from head coach messaging strategy to the quarterback to the revenge to the mental setup, I just think Oregon is more there. And I know that's an extremely vague way of putting it. I wish I could say more.
I think
I'm just buying into the collective glue of Oregon more. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, Stephen. The collective glue of Oregon is stickier than the collective glue of Washington, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with the Ducks on the road outright.
Somebody needs to find some sticky coverage this week to slow down Michael Penix and those receivers. So I think the best way to look at this game is simply it's a toss up. We've got great fireworks on both sides with the quarterbacks. I'm just looking forward to, like you said, it's a high profile game and a rivalry that doesn't get enough probably respect. So I think this could be an all timer this year between two very high scoring teams.
It's going to be great. All right. So I'm taking Oregon. You didn't make a pick. Who you got?
Oregon.
See, you're with me. You're with me.